What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to the Good Muscle episode 8, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Drink more water.
Celebrity guest, been working together
6 weeks?
5 weeks.
5.5 weeks?
And you're down 20 pounds?
20 pounds.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks to you.
It's your hard work, man. Your hard work.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Give them a little bit of who you are.
My name's Clint Shown. For a full-time job, I'm an account manager at Coca-Cola. I also own my own home-based business. I'm also a board member for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm the treasurer this year. I also have a 5-year-old son and a wife. So
anyone can do it.
Busy man.
I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy trying to lose 50 pounds.
And he always makes time for the gym, you know.
And you're well on your way.
Right. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're almost halfway. So, motivation, inspiration. Where should we start?
Start with you, man.
With me?
Yeah. I mean, I think that you have, for all those of you who haven't met him in person or haven't worked with him on a personal level, I tell you what, this guy gives somebody a reason to drive, and I mean that, from experience, because I told you the other night, I always said I'd never have a personal trainer, never, didn't need one, didn't want one. And I don't know, man, it was hearing your story, hearing the drive that you had was like, all right, I want to do this. And I'm not going to give you too much credit and say you're the reason I do it, but you're definitely the reason I show up every day and I keep doing it.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
So I think motivation comes from the people around you. You know, and if the people around you are sitting on the couch all day long, maybe that's not what you want to be doing.
True.
You know?
True. Surround yourself with what you want to become.
Throughout like journey, I guess, my life or whatever, I've always like come across that saying, like surround yourself with who you want to become. I like kind of was like, okay, like I'm gonna stop hanging out with these people,
Right.
Even though they're like family and like really good friends of mine, and hang out with like, you know, who I want to become, you know, what I want to be around. It's like, boom.
I heard someone told me, I don't remember who it was. It might have been David Harsman. He's always got some good advice.
Always.
Yeah, but he said you're like an average of the 5 people you're around the most.
Yeah.
Well, and the truth is, people who are down, if you're a person who's fun to be around, people who are down want to keep you with them. They don't want you to run off and go do your own thing, right?
Yeah.
And so if they're down, they're going to pull you down to their level. And unfortunately, you got to be the one strong enough to either grab them and take them with you, or move on and go be yourself.
Misery loves company.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's nice to have someone to help hold you accountable. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like that's why I like working out with these guys, because like I can go to the gym and stuff, but it's also the intensity is not the same without them. It's good to have someone hold you accountable, and there's several reasons to have someone with you, because like they'll push you further, you can push them further, you can bounce ideas back and forth to each other, you can like build something funny together, dude. Like
Teamwork makes the dream work.
yeah,
For sure.
Hell
Sure.
yeah.
Something else that holds you accountable is goals. There's a lot of people that say, well, I don't really need goals, you know, I'm just living life. Well, actually, I'm gonna have to say this. I'm gonna shout out to my brother Tyler Shown, because he wrote a blog a while back, and I just read it again today. It's probably about the 4th time I read it, but he said maybe just being happy isn't everything, and that's pretty simple, right? But if you really think about it, if you're just going day to day being happy, and you're not, I mean, first of all, the question is, what is happiness, right? It's different for each one of us. And if you're not defining happiness yourself, maybe it's not good enough, you know? We don't need to worry about what our neighbors are doing. We don't need to, my happiness isn't going to be anything close to what yours is, and Devin, yours isn't going to be the same as mine, right?
Yeah.
And so define your own happiness, set a goal that it's going to take for you to get there, and then start walking it.
I got a question for setting goals. You think you should make them, because some people set unrealistic goals, some people set like more realistic goals, you realistic. But also, it's like kind of like you said before, like set those motherfuckers high. Like, and some people might say that's unrealistic. So what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think you have to set them high. You have to, but you have to make them obtainable.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to. If you don't, like for me, I'm a very goal-oriented person, and by that I also mean that I have to reach those. Because if I'm not moving forward and I'm not taking every step of the ladder, I'm gonna slide down.
Maybe that's the difference between long-term and short-term goals.
Oh, that's
Short-term
right.
goals help you get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
long-term.
yeah.
Actually,
you gotta have
steps.
short-term.
Step, did you say 2 steps?
You're gonna choose.
Oh, you in 2 steps? You've been working on that?
I have.
But setting goals gives you long-term vision and short-term motivation.
Nice.
And so your goal is what you're looking at. You know, you're going to reach there, you're going to get there. But today, I'm doing what I'm doing today to get to my
Dude,
my
guys,
goal.
make a list. Make a list. Put some long-term goals on there. Put some short-term goals on there because it is so satisfying when you just go and you're just like,
Oh,
you cross it off the
So-
list. Yeah.
So check this out. Something that I learned with writing it down. Take a picture of it. Get a picture of it.
Keep it
Print it
there,
off the
yeah.
internet.
Put
So
it all over.
By my front door, I have an alarm system. By my front door, I have 2 pictures. One is a brand new vehicle, and one is I want to play in the World Series of Poker.
That's
And those 2
oh,
pictures.
What's it called? What's that called?
I see those pictures
There's
every
a
day
name for
before.
that. When you
Just know that when you see it every single day
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you live for it every day, it's so much easier to remember why you wake up every morning. So anyway, that goes along with your writing it down. I mean, write it down, look at it all the time, tell your friends about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's goal, if your goal is way too high and you're never going to reach it, and you start to tell people about it, you know, I think you put this this message that you're going to fail, or if people know you're not going to get there, if you know you're not going to get there, you know, you have a better chance of failure. And so that's why keep them in reach.
there's a lot of people you were saying yesterday that like talk and then don't
Don't do it. Yeah.
It's well, I don't know. It's always like going back to sayings and shit.
You just got
Like actions speak louder than words, and of course, but like I say, some people like, oh, I'm gonna do this, this, and that. It's like, dude, do it. And
Yeah,
of course, you
like-
should tell your friends, like, hey, just so they can hold you
Yeah.
accountable too at the same time.
Yeah, and I read this earlier today too. Goals hold you accountable for failure, right? So, and failure is okay because what did I write down earlier? Fail is a first attempt in learning.
Yeah.
But then I think goals also tell you what you really want. So, if you say my goal is to have a lot of money, okay, well you're not going to go. Well, maybe you will go sleep in bed with money. I don't know. But what are you going to do with that money is really what your goal is. It may not be to have a lot of money. Your
Some
goal is
people
to
are
buy a new
materialistic.
vehicle. Yeah, exactly.
How do you like realize that you are in a comfort zone?
I think excuses is number one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the type of person that has an excuse for everything, you know, maybe it's time to look at, are you just being comfortable where you're at? And being comfortable is okay. I mean, for some
You're not
people,
gonna grow them.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And for some people, you know, maybe they don't think they want to grow, right?
They're content. Again.
Yeah, exactly. And but I think comfort zones can be dangerous because it's easier for, I say, bad people. It's easier for negativity to overwhelm you. I mean, I always think that positivity takes work, and it takes you gotta reach for positivity, or you gotta be it, right? Negativity can just sit there and kind of dwell.
You're being a rut.
Yeah,
It's
right.
easy to just. I've been there before,
Just
man.
like,
I've been there. Before I moved to Nashville, I would never. I would just work and then. Yeah.
I used to kick it with this guy, and this guy would be sleeping at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, I think that you know, there's a difference between everybody has situations in life that kind of roadblocks you, but I'm a believer in excuses are just an easy way out. And generally, I don't care what the speed bump is, where you're at in life. There's a way to get around it. You know what I mean? And it's just it's having the mental capacity and the heart to find your way around it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, let's talk about a mouse looking for cheese in a maze.
You've got to want it. You've
Right.
got to want it.
Right.
Otherwise,
And you got to dig, and you got to drive, and you got to live your goal.
Yeah. You have to become aware, like, this isn't what I want. This is what I want.
Right.
And then from there, you have to, like, you know,
submerge and put all your effort into
and
it.
a lot of times, you know, being in that comfort zone, a lot of times you have to take this step that's, like, super, like, You know,
like
you don't
putting
know.
ourselves out there. Like when we
Yeah.
first got on camera, it was super. It was
it
like
was.
just
It was like-
picture. You've probably never taken a camera to the gym and just like
It's
hold it
fucking
around and
weird.
get filmed it and stuff.
I'm
And all
not
these
gonna
people
lie, I used to
just
get
looking at
embarrassed
you.
at first.
Like
Hey,
what's
I'm-
going on?
I'm
It's really
sitting here.
strange.
I'm sitting here pretty weirded out. This is my
Yeah.
first time on
Yeah,
camera.
so you know
Yeah,
that's how
for sure.
And now it's like,
Now we're like, what's
where's
up?
the camera? You didn't bring the camera today, bro.
Hey guys, guess who just walked in? Like,
I think a huge thing for comfort zones is like quitting that job.
Oh yeah.
sometimes
I'm dealing with that right now.
life-changing
And you just did that.
Yeah.
Man, congrats, by the way.
Thanks.
Oh, that was a week, bro.
Getting out of that comfort zone is super like, oh shit, like. But once you like take that step, it's like,
A
oh.
lot of times it's like, what are people thinking right now?
And yeah,
And that doesn't matter.
And
People's
hey-
opinions.
yeah.
That's another thing.
hang on to somebody. I mean, grabs people who are successful don't want you to fail.
Yeah.
People who are successful
Yeah.
are just living their own dream, living their own goal.
That's
and
good
so,
muscle, man.
and they'll always help. I mean, I've never met. I'm in an organization with people who make way more money than I can even picture right now, and they stop anytime I text them, anytime I call them. They stop and have a conversation with me for whatever I need. You know, whatever the question is, they're there to answer it. And so I don't think that I've never thought that successful people want to leave us down in the dirt. You know, they're just looking at you saying, "Hey, if you want to drive with me, let's go. But otherwise, I'm doing my own thing."
but that's the thing.
You know?
It has to be up to that person too. to
Absolutely.
hop
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
in too. You know,
It's
like-
that choice. It's making that choice, and then once you make that choice, it's like work.
At the end of the day, I was reading this book and like it was about like spirituality and like just like your inner self and like the way your life is going to play out. I don't know. It's not on faith. It's on you and your choices and what you make. If you want to be productive and positive and this great person or whatever, it's up to you and only you. Like you make the choice on if you're going to fail or you're going to succeed. So
And I'm not fucking. I should have worn it. I'm not sure what, but I have a hat that says King, and like sometimes, like somebody else might be like what a douchebag, like wearing a hat that says King. But when I wear that, like I think like I'm the king of my reality.
I like that.
You know, like
like
I'm
that
in
a lot.
control of how my life plays out because you know every choice you make determines like what's gonna happen. You know?
And you met a guy last night, Cody Newton.
Yeah.
You walked in the door with that hat on it, and
Yeah.
he was not thinking you were a douchebag. He instantly said,
Right.
"You
Yeah.
can wear that hat because you're being the king."
Yeah.
You know, I think that's pretty cool.
You are in charge of what happens to your life. And there's some things that you can't change, like I don't know, your genetics, the way your hair looks, your eye color, but
I mean, you can change
Yeah.
that stuff, but
yeah,
If that's
I guess if we
now,
are
now we can.
Yeah.
Now we can.
2017, but you know, you can make a choice. You know, you don't want to work at that job. You know, you can go apply and get a job down the street.
or go to school, you know, get an education.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Or you know, you want to lose 50 pounds. This guy hires AB and
he's well on his
Bam.
way.
Making it
yeah.
happen. Making it happen.
for the longest time, I always thought something would like maybe just like fall on my lap or something, you know. So I've just
Dude.
been kind of
Mhm.
I've
just
just,
I-
I've
I
been
feel
like
you.
that,
yeah. And that's not the case, man. Like for
No,
some people, it
no.
is.
No, but what that is,
It might fall on your lap, but even if something falls on your lap, it's not something until you make it.
I feel like that's like once you make a choice and you start going down this path, like maybe something will like you know like the
But
job.
you've got to be looking for it. You've got to
Yeah.
be. You've got to know
Yeah,
what you want. You've got to be
exactly.
looking for it.
Exactly.
That's is exactly what I was going to say. Is it may not fall in your lap, but maybe that something falling in my lap feeling, higher power, whatever it is
Yeah.
you believe in, maybe that's a spotlight that you're supposed to be looking for.
Yeah.
And it's saying, hey, wake up.
Because there's
you know?
probably, if you think about it, there's probably lots of like opportunities that have pretty much fallen in
Throughout
your
your
lap,
day.
and you
Yeah.
weren't looking for it, and you could have been here already,
Yeah.
but you
And-
weren't looking.
and you
weren't
didn't even think about
You weren't
it.
thinking
Yeah.
about it. You need to like. One of the hardest things I deal with is like self-evaluation, like defining myself, like knowing who I truly am, like being real, and that's another thing. Like you have to figure that out before you're gonna truly know what you.
self-aware.
Yeah, before you're truly gonna be able to set goals, you gotta be
Because
self.
if you don't know who you are, how
Yeah.
are we supposed to know who you are?
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
you're gonna be throwing out all these different things.
And that can be a messy journey. Those lacking motivation, what do you have to say to them?
And something that I've learned too over the last several months is define, learn, do. Define who you want to be, how you want to live, and then learn how to do it. and then go out and make it happen. You know, and I think people who don't have motivation don't have a reason. And so it goes back to the goal setting. You know, it goes back to finding a reason that you want to wake up every day. You know, and I guess I've always felt that if I don't go to bed at night and I don't feel like I've done my best, I'm not living a successful life. Now that's different for everybody, you know, but for me, I want to be able to lay my head down at night and know that I busted my butt and I did everything I could do for my life, my family, and the people around me.
Because you've got to fix yourself, take care of yourself before you can help other people to the full potential that you can.
Right.
Like this guy, he turned his fucking life around, right? Because he would not have been able to do none of this stuff, not recently, within the last 5 years. And now look at him. Now look at this. What's going on? Look at this. So you've got to take care of yourself to be able to help other people.
Yeah, and it's inspiring for people to tell their story, and I think that's one of the reasons I started talking to you about doing this was because I think everybody's story counts, and there's always somebody watching you, whether it's a child, a family member, a friend, a person across the street. I mean, just the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, somebody's going to see that, somebody's going to wonder, how is that happening and why are they doing that? For people who've struggled in their upbringing, I guess is the way I'll say it. You know, I think it's important to share those stories because that's where people are stuck in life. Yeah. You know, there's negative things that have happened, and they have to have a reason or a hope that it gets better. And if you don't share that story and you don't make people understand, like, here's my picture and here's how I made it better.
Dude, you just inspired me because there's a lot.
Well,
I'm gonna go off on the next one because my childhood was fucking nuts.
I mean, that's what it's all about, though, because somebody's just like you, somebody's just like me, and they're sitting there like, man, this sucks, dude. I'm living in my bubble. I'm going to stay in my bubble because it's safe.
Yeah, well, it's hard. You shouldn't assume things because I've been through some shit, and you're the person you're speaking of,
right?
Hypothetically, that person, they're assuming that maybe we haven't had any struggles, and we're who we are now because we didn't go through what they did. But that's not the case. Because there's always someone worse off, man. There's always someone who's been worse off than you. There's someone who's been in the same shoes as you, and they're doing better than you, or they're doing worse than you, and it's up to you.
And I'll say this too, on the flip side of that, I've heard a lot of, I was raised very well by, most of the time, a single mom, and she taught my brother and I how to live well. I mean, she's got a play hard, but you work twice as hard attitude. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions for people who are successful, generational success is not given by a silver spoon, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Most people think, well, that kid made it because his dad. That kid made it because his parents. No,
they have the benefit of having their parents who are successful to tell them how to do it. But if they don't do it, you've got to have that drive.
It's standards, and I can get into some pretty crazy parenting stuff because my wife and I are in our 20s and we see a lot of parents that are our age. But generational success doesn't happen all the time. It does sometimes, right? Daddy gives son something. But the bottom line is that father or those parents have standards for their children. Yeah. And so if you were raised in a family or in a lifestyle where there were no standards or there were no goals or there wasn't a bar to live by, you're automatically going to just coast, right? But if your parents are, hey, let's go, I need you up here. This is our expectations. These are our goals for you. You're automatically going to have a drive as you're being raised.
Dude, my only rule growing up was be home before the bus gets here in the morning.
Back to goals. When you make goals and you meet those goals, how do you
go from there?
How do you progress?
That's what I'm saying. Don't settle for you set a goal, you made it. Don't just settle and be like, I did it. Set another goal and do that too.
Yeah, I think rewards are important too. With that goal, get something out of it, right? So set a goal.
Other than
and set what you're going to give yourself, or whether it's going on Facebook and telling everybody, hey, I did this, I did that, great. Yeah. If it's a cheat meal, if I cheat now, but if a cheat meal or whatever it is. Yeah. I can tell you now, after I lose my 50 pounds, we're going to completely turn things around, and I got other goals going back the other way. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
You know, so I think it's got to evolve all the time, because if we're not thinking, moving, I mean, I'm always a moving forward, reaching for the next goal. And I've been told before too that well, why can't you just be happy with the way that it is? And it's not that I'm not happy; it's that I'm not afraid to move forward to the next, you know, to whatever the next project or the next thing is.
Yeah. Like constantly be like progressing your goals, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
I'll say like when I started this fitness journey, I was like 295, and my goal was strictly just lose weight. I didn't care about like definition or tone. I was like, I just want to be skinny. And of course, like lost the weight, and it's like, well, I can't stop, you know. So then it's like, oh, I started seeing these like, I'm like,
we like.
I've never seen these before, you know. Yeah. And now it's, I don't know. I'm a little cocky and I like to show off.
Yeah.
But you know,
Like those shorts, if you've seen on the Snapchat.
Oh yeah. I click past those every time. I'm like, oh.
What is it that drives you?
I would say my past has a lot to do with it. Not that my past, I had a great life. I can say that easily. But there were people in my life who I saw fail, and I knew that I never wanted to be there. You know, when I was in high school, I remember going to a funeral for a guy that was a year older than me, and I mean that had a lot to do with it. I'll never be in that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was an in the moment drive. Now, I mean, I've got a 5-year-old son watching me, and I think that in this day and age, he's going to have a tougher life than we'll ever have. In the technology world, in the work world, in the relationship world, you know. And so if I'm not showing him the right way, or what I believe is the right way, or a positive way, or showing him a road to get to wherever he wants to go, then why did I have a kid?
Right.
You know, and I think what drives me is showing people that it can happen.
That's right. Yeah. Also, the good muscle. It just makes me so happy when people come up and like your story. It's like it's allowing you to come and share your story, and then you're motivating people, and then it's like a tree. Like it branches off.
I had an eye opener Thursday night. Like I went out and about throughout the town, like. Everywhere I went, I just saw people. They're like, "You guys got shirts," and they're just like so happy and content, and they're just like, "You guys are killing it." It's like, "Where's AB? Where's Devin? Like, what the hell?" Like, I know.
Freaking Giovanni, hit us up, wants to work out with us, and worked out today.
Yeah, we did work out today.
Dude, and I feel like stuff like that.
I
feel like that's gonna start happening. More people are gonna get involved and spread the vibes, the good vibes, and the positivity and everything.
Now more than ever, people want to see. I'm gonna say little people. I mean, like not big business, right? People want to see people succeed, and so the fact that you're out sharing the story, I think is going to inspire more people than you guys can even imagine. I mean, I've told AB a ton of times, dude, that I absolutely love what he's doing, because it's so much more than physical. You guys are going to be so much more than good muscle. I mean, you're going to be good vibes. You're going to be good life. You're going to be. I mean,
look at the little saying right there. See that?
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
What
all
the
that.
camera don't know is that shirt stinks.
This is the key. This is the key word right here. Good. That's the key word.
And the fans over there too. That's terrible. But I'm excited for you guys just because of where you're going. I mean, not only is your vision huge, but I think Alex loves when I start asking the questions too.
He does.
Because he'll stop there and he'll be like,
"That's a thinker."
Oh man.
Yeah, dude.
You ever see this guy? Just stop and talk to him.
Yeah.
You're grocery shopping. Don't be, dude. He's an approachable guy.
We as a society, this is another thing I can get fired up on, but we as a society need to do a better job of working with each other, being with each other, because it's not just in an era of technology. I mean, think about it. You have connections to almost every single family member.
Yeah.
Do you contact them any more now
Nope.
than you did 15 years? You know, 50 or than they did 15 years
Possibly
ago.
less.
Yeah.
We don't write letters anymore.
Yeah.
I write my grandma. I write my
That's
grandma.
what I'm talking
I write
about.
my grandma.
But you know what I'm saying? And so more now than ever, I think it's important to connect with people. And if you can master that, it's going to be an amazing experience in your life and the people that you connect with.
There's even just this video, like it's positivity. It's just like pouring out of this video right now. Like there's people who might just accidentally stumble across it and just hear something that they needed to fucking hear.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
If we can help one person.
Yep.
Hey, Grit, you want to high five?
Oh, sorry, bro.
This is something. This was the blog that my brother was a guest writer on. Taylor DeVos, Let'sMarch.org. And I saw this quote on here and I love it. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Because I think it's easy to be born with something, right? But I think you can perfect something even more when you learn it. And if you're always willing to learn, always willing to keep an open mind, you'll never stop. And you won't stop when you want to stop. I think you'll drive and you'll just go and once you're running, man, it's hard to stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
You're saying people are born with things?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so there people are always arguing like, who's the best basketball player? You always see that argument going on. There's someone out there. There's tons of people out there that are born and they have the skills, or they have the potential to be better than this person or the two contenders who they're always saying they're the best or whatever. It's just they haven't been open in their eyes. They haven't been evaluating themselves and figuring out what they want. But maybe what they want is not what they're born with or something. But
exactly.
The potential is there, and they could just.
It's work, man. Like you said, like hard work.
Mm-hmm.
If you're at work eating that guy and that guy, you're gonna win.
And you don't necessarily. It doesn't necessarily mean like working like a job and making money.
I'll read this one last thing.
Okay.
Bill Copeland, who was an American poet, did a lot of things in the psychological world before then. The trouble with not having a goal is that you spend your life running up and down the field and never score.
Ooh.
Damn!
Goal setting, make it
Good
happen.
one.
Make it happen.
If you're not happy with where you're at, make a change.
I got a quote too.
Dude.
All right, it's never too late to be who you could have been.